Getting along and keeping the peace. We mean well, mostly, but getting along isn't always our strong suit. Turns out, being raised in a bizarre, high-control group makes navigating human interactions complicated. But hey, we're learning. You might think getting along would be easier, but I've learned that a lot depends on your perspective, and your experiences shape your lens. So you usually see things as you are, not always as they are. Here's how I navigate behaviors. Tips from one screwed up but recovering kid survivor to another. Number 1. Defending, reacting, and trying to chill. Why do I feel the need to defend every thought, opinion, or move like I'm getting hauled into ethics for another shitty knowledge report? Oh right, triggered trauma. We spent our formative years being interrogated, judged, and always feeling like we had to prove we weren't secretly plotting to destroy the group. So when someone questioned us, we instinctively armored up. Even now when we disagree, we can go into full defense mode, like we're bracing for an attack. The trick is realizing that not every disagreement, criticism, or opposing opinion is a threat. We all have our moments when we turn minor conflicts into epic battles. But hey, even recognizing it is a step forward. When you feel yourself overreacting, pause. Take a deep breath, maybe 3. Before reacting, think it through a bit. Delay replying to that text or email. Look for a little common ground. What can we agree on? Remind yourself it's okay to listen, even if it's uncomfortable. Maybe consider what you're feeling and why. We don't have to win every argument or even prove we're right. Nobody's judging us for eternity here. We're allowed to disagree now and still be friends. Wild concept, right? Everything isn't a spiritual crisis or a witch trial these days. We're not fighting for our lives anymore. Nobody's declaring us suppressive. We're safe now. We escaped those things. We're okay. Number 2, taking sides and falling into old habits. Why do we sometimes split into factions like it's a battle against good and evil, all over again? Because the truth is, tribalism was bred, drilled, even punished into us. We were disciplined for being open-minded, or God forbid, reasonable. Now we know those are actually good things, and not failures at all. We were taught to overpower, not negotiate, to win, at all costs. Remember, the art of war? We were groomed to see everything in black and white terms. Good versus bad, in versus out, SP versus ally. Sometimes I catch myself getting ready to defend a side in an argument about literally nothing, just out of habit. It's okay to have opinions, but let's not turn every disagreement into a civil war. We're here to heal, not divide. The world isn't as simple as us versus them anymore. When you catch yourself getting sucked into drama, take a step back. Ask yourself, does this involve me? Does it matter? Is it worth my energy? Can I embrace a shade of gray here? Can I be objective? Can it be resolved privately? Does it really matter if someone thinks there was one good thing in Dianetics, or that LRH was better than David Miscavige? We don't have to go full warrior mode over minor debates. And maybe it's time to embrace a few more shades of gray. Things that were forbidden when we were in. Stuff like compromise, empathy, tolerance, acceptance, even forgiveness. We're all trying to process and get the truth out, to expose the harms of a really shitty cult. When we fight each other instead, we all lose. You might say these days we have bigger fish to fry, and now we have the freedom to do it. Let's try not to waste our energy fighting one another when there's still a cult out there, still hurting people. Priorities. And let's be real, there's no prize for best survivor or most popular ex. We're all flawed, and in some stage of recovery. This is all hard, and we're doing it anyway. That's pretty big. Number 3, reactions and overreactions. The drama is real. Why do I react like I'm about to be publicly shamed when someone suggests I could improve? Why does constructive criticism feel like a personal attack to me? Why do I feel it in my bones? Like I have a bag of flaming hot Cheetos stuck in my chest. Oh yeah, because being criticized in Scientology was a nightmare of judgment that came with intense consequences. The public shaming and punishment felt like being on the pointy side of a firing squad. I once snapped at a friend who suggested I try therapy, like, how dare you call me broken? Turns out, they were just trying to be supportive, but I took my friend's suggestion as an insult, and they were like, I just wanted to help. We ended up laughing about how I turned a kind offer into a declaration of war. I heard, God, you're so screwed up, you seriously need professional help. but they actually meant, hey, this thing really helped me. Maybe it could help you too? It's not that our emotions are wrong. They're just often bigger and louder than normal because of what we went through. It's so easy for our bodies to head into fight or flight. They're designed to. It's a normal response to threats. And for so long we lived on high alert, always bracing for judgment and pain. It's okay to feel triggered, but we don't have to let those feelings control us. If you find yourself overreacting, give yourself some grace. It's okay to feel defensive, but try to listen to what's actually being said. Often, people mean well, but might not say it perfectly. Maybe let's assume people aren't trying to ruin us. Maybe we should also try giving ourselves and each other a little grace for our freakouts, for being triggered. Not every disagreement, misunderstanding, or slight means war, even if it's how we were intentionally wired. Our responses are evolving, and for some of us that looks like one meltdown at a time. Others look like a calm, still pond, kind of like they don't even care. But that's just a different way of coping. Instead of following our programming, let's choose differently. We get to do that now. We can decide to rewire instead. Truth is, we were weaponized as kids, made into adults before our time, taught to fight like adults, against adults, about adult topics and issues. We were thrown into battles we didn't ask for, battles that weren't ours to fight. We can't change that past, but we can adjust now. Choose to set a different example, to stop carrying those old patterns forward. Be the change we needed back then. Number 4. Confirmation bias, Scientology's lasting gift. Why do I feel the need to surround myself with people who think exactly like I do? Why do I crave the comfort of people who agree with me and feel threatened when someone challenges my beliefs? Oh, because my brain still loves that sweet, sweet validation. Our developing brains got used to the safety of groupthink. In Scientology, we were taught to only trust people who agreed with the group. The rest were enemies, or at least not to be trusted. Even now, I sometimes catch myself only trusting people who validate my worldview. Healing means challenging that habit. Part of healing is realizing that diversity of thought is good. It doesn't make someone a threat if they see things differently. Try to be open-minded. That's not a bad word in the real world. It's okay to disagree without feeling like you need to handle someone. I'm pretty sure we've had enough closed-off thinking to last a number of lifetimes. So we've got credit in the bank. Remember, we're not in a cult anymore. I'm allowed to think for myself now, and so is everyone else. Different perspectives doesn't mean we're enemies, it just means we're human. We're all unique, and that's a beautiful thing. Number 5, progress isn't perfection. We're still gonna mess up, plenty. We'll overreact, jump to conclusions, take sides out of loyalty or bias, and accidentally make each other feel like we're back in a cult. But we're actually learning, growing, and getting better, just slowly. Bumpy baby steps. Our well-honed defenses protected us when we needed them. It's easy to fall back on them in a pinch, but we're not going backward. We're forging ahead onto brighter things. Be patient with yourself and each other. Try to talk it out, listen with an open mind, and give people the benefit of the doubt. You might just hear something you can agree with and see another side. Growth is funky, uncomfortable, scary, slow as Christmas, but we deserve to achieve some peace. Most of all, let's avoid becoming the very things that hurt us. We're absolutely allowed to mess up, and we will, but we're also allowed to get better. The beautiful, messy truth is we've come a long way, but we need to keep growing. And I know we can.